Hey guys, welcome to the Kia Telluride. Lots to go over on this vehicle, a lot of features, a lot of cool tech, really nice interior. Let's get started. Let's take you on a walk around and show you what the exterior looks like. Wanted to do a kind of an overall review on this / first impressions video. Let's talk about the looks, because I love the way this thing looks. I really think Kia has done something special with this design. It's unique to their brand. I think overall this is a really recognizable vehicle. Everyone's been asking me all week, oh, is that the Kia Telluride? That's really cool. I haven't seen a lot of those on the road. Everyone knows about the Kia Telluride, which is there's something to be said about that for Kia's image. We have so many cool features on this thing for the price. This is like a $46,000 SUV. You have Napa leather, you have 3 rows, you have cooled and heated seats in the back, a privacy screen, a Harman Kardon audio system, and check this out. You have these nice full seats here. You can move this captain's chair forward with just the press of a button, hop into the back with ease. You even have a little grab handle on the side here. And the legroom back here isn't terrible. The front passengers will have to move their seat back, but ultimately, with this seat at a normal position, there's still a great amount of legroom back here in the third row. You could even stretch your foot out in between the seats up there. Plenty of room for your feet underneath. To get the seat forward again, just pop this button, and it's up there. How easy is that? Definitely one of the easiest third rows to get in and out of that I've experienced. Even the second row has plenty of legroom back here. Very spacious inside the Kia Telluride. You have a standard plug outlet there, and a cigarette lighter port, a couple of drink holders, USB charge port here in the back of the seats. Nice little pocket for your phone here as well, so it doesn't get lost in the major backseat pocket. Grab handle. You have these cool vents as well. You can diffuse the air or direct the air, and these rotate. You can even direct the air at yourself if you're the driver. Lots of adjustability there. The back of your neck. Little reading lights for your climate controls. So many cool, thoughtful design features have gone into this car, and it's refreshing to see so much go into a vehicle at this price point. Let's look in the back here. Show you guys the space. Now, one important thing with a 3-row vehicle is actually having storage space behind that third row, because all those people are going to have stuff, and they're going to need a place to put their stuff. And I'm happy to report that there's a decent amount of room back here. You can fit some grocery bags, a couple suitcases, what have you. Of course, you fold the third row down, and you've got even more storage. There's no shortage for space in the Kia Telluride, that is for sure. You can even fold the second row up here with a press of a button, which is pretty cool. Also adjust the height of that tailgate, how high it goes, if you have any clearance issues with your garage or anything like that. Lots of easy, intuitive, thoughtful features throughout this SUV. I have the key on me, that's why it keeps beeping. Same kind of detonator style that the Kia Stinger started off. And I love these amber LED running lights. This is a really good spec for this car. The black wheels, the brown paint, all the little chrome accents throughout. It's really sharp. All right, let's dig around the front seat here. There's a lot of stuff to check out. You've got your drive mode selectors here. You can lock your all-wheel drive system, 50/50 front and rear distribution. You've got a smart drive mode, sport, comfort, eco, snow. I've mostly been driving it around in smart. The transmission programming seems to be a little bit better in that mode. Eco mode will make it mostly front wheel drive, and only engage the rear axle if it absolutely is necessary. It'll also turn on stop-start technology, which works really, really well in this car. It almost starts up immediately. Getting in the Kia Telluride, if it's a hot day, I'm immediately met by automatic cooled seats. I haven't found a place in the settings to turn that off. I believe you can, but really easy to engage those. You have a nice little center storage area for your phone here. A couple of charge ports. Plug it into Apple CarPlay. Lots of storage space, places to put things, sunglasses, what have you. Massive vanity mirror. I mean, really, what else do you need in a vehicle? This has so much to offer. There's some cool camera views. When you put this into reverse, you have a 360 view that you can actually zoom in and out of. We'll leave it there on the middle view. See different levels of detail. Front-facing cameras. You can see the cameras on your mirrors, your sides. If you're doing some off-roading, you can see how close your clearances are. So helpful, so nice. Good open view throughout the windows too. Not a lot of visibility blind spots. You have blind spot detection, lane keep assist, and one of the best radar guided cruise control autopilot type systems that I've ever driven. I believe it's called highway driving assist mode. It only engages on major highways, but you can drive for a long time, at least a minute or two sometimes, without having to touch the steering wheel. Corners well with the system engaged. Anyway, we'll show it to you later on in this video. And of course, a feature that I've really grown to appreciate, in the center display, you get a view of what is in your blind spot with the turn signal cameras, or the mirror cameras. Feature seen in some other vehicles from other manufacturers. I kind of first was introduced to it in the Kia K900, where it pops up in the gauges. I like this version of it a little bit better though, because it doesn't hide your speed or change the graphic display with your speedometer or tax. Power. Kia Telluride doesn't have a whole lot of it. It's not blazingly fast, and I think that's one reason why the transmission seems to be a little bit of a complaint of mine. I think it's just a little bit underpowered torque-wise for the weight of this vehicle. It's not a light vehicle, even though it does drive like a much lighter weight vehicle because of the suspension geometry and the suspension tuning. The handling on this is actually quite good, and the ride quality is quite good. It's not necessarily wanting for power, but on the day-to-day, I do find the transmission downshifting just a little bit more than I would like, and hunting around for gears a little bit more than I would prefer. That's not quite something that I noticed in the Palisade for some reason. Maybe it was the route that we were driving, the conditions we were driving in. An example of stop-start working really well there. I think I've gotten used to it more and more, but it's just sometimes a little bit difficult to anticipate the amount of acceleration you're going to get with the amount of throttle input. I'll get a ton of downshifts with just a little bit of throttle sometimes, and other times it's just going to hold the gear. I would like to see slightly better transmission programming with this Telluride, and maybe someday a turbocharged V6 might be a really good way to go. Of course, that's going to up the price. That's going to put this into Genesis territory, but maybe Genesis will do a turbo version of the Telluride. Who knows? Got nice warnings there for your blind spots. You can get a little bit of a vibration in your steering wheel to let you know that someone is in there. The beep is a little bit loud, but you can adjust all that stuff. One really nice thing about Kias is that you can just adjust all of the settings. Everything is programmable, changeable to your tastes and needs. The ergonomics in here are pretty good. Sometimes these buttons over to the far right are a little bit of a reach for the driver, but it's not terrible. There isn't a ton of outright grip on these tires. I believe these are the Michelin's. They do okay. There's a really nice amount of road noise, though, that they isolate you from. Over potholes, over bumps, over pavement that's rough. That's really not a lot of cabin intrusion. And this is a really quiet driving experience overall. Not a lot of wind noise. And one thing that's really surprised me with the Telluride is just how fuel efficient it's been. I did about 100-mile trip back and forth to Jackson, Michigan yesterday, just down 94, and I got 27 miles to the gallon on the readout. Amazing, going 70, 75, 80 miles an hour. I have never experienced anything like that in a full-size SUV, and this doesn't even take premium fuel. So the Telluride's pretty nice on gas. And right now, with the 2 videos that I've filmed, driving it not that nicely, I've been getting about 24 miles to the gallon. So beating the EPA estimates there. I believe highways rated at 24 mpg and cities at 18, I think. Confirm that in the description. But pretty impressive. You can also do a little bit of an audio test here. Apple CarPlay works well. You've got Waze and all your systems there. Taking a minute to find its bearings. Yeah, let's do a little bit of
take I-96 east to line
let's not do
275
that.
south.
There we go. Sometimes Waze likes to route me home automatically. A lot of squealing from these Michelins. But there's a lightness and an agility to the Telluride when pushed around corners that is kind of unique. There's a lot of suspension design that Kia has done to make this feel like a normal vehicle, not a big, massive, heavy SUV. So right now we're in highway driving assist. We're going 70 miles an hour. Let's see how long this steering assist lasts going down the highway on a straight road. It's keeping me perfectly centered. I can adjust my following distance with the press of a button. It does just a really, really nice job. You can see here we'll start to slow down a little bit for traffic that's going slower ahead of us. It's just sitting us in this guy's blind spot, which isn't ideal. So it's asking me to keep my hands on the steering wheel now, but it's not giving me a beep. It's been a good 40-50 seconds driving down this road, and now it's going to give me a beep. Now if I don't do anything, it'll just turn the system off. But all I have to do is just tap the wheel, give it a little slap, and you're good to go. Thank you, Waze. Good looking out. The transmission is responsive. It does grab gears quite quickly and effectively, and the shifts are very smooth. For some reason, maybe it's just me, but I'd have to drive both back to back, but I don't remember this much hunting around in the Hyundai Palisade, even though it's the same engine, same transmission. Maybe they've done a little bit of extra refinement to improve efficiency over the Telluride, a little bit more engineering over time. You never know. All right, so let's hop into, not Spotify, let's go into our music and find our sound test playlist. Listen to this Harman Kardon audio system. even at a lower volume, you get really nice tones, nice bass, good richness to the sound quality. Classical piece there. It's a nice sound system. There's really no complaints there. One cool feature that this has is that you can do some pretty cool stuff. So if you go to all menus, you can go into what's called driver talk or quiet mode, and in quiet mode, your media that's playing your song, that's playing your music, will only play in the front seats, which is kind of cool. So if people are sleeping in the back seat, this will only keep the speakers in the front seat engaged. And then there's the opposite of that mode, which is called driver talk mode. And that'll actually enhance your voice into the rear seats. You can hear a little bit of an echo back there, but it'll pick up my voice in a microphone. So you don't have to shout all the way back to the third row. Really innovative, really cool feature. And to end that, you just hit end. You can even have that as a quick select right here on the main menu. You can program that to go into some of your favorite, most frequently used buttons. And again, highway driving assist, keeping me nice and centered and safe throughout all of those menu changes. Because I will say, for how minimalist Kias have been in the past, there's definitely some deeper menus with this newer technology, these new infotainment systems seen in the Kia K900 and this Telluride. So you need a system like this that you can trust reasonably well when driving in the real world, when you have to take your eyes off the road for a few seconds. Again, not ideal, but with the way vehicles are these days, it's just the way it is. Overall, I do really like the dynamics of this Telluride. It's a nice driving SUV. It's very lightweight. Everything is effortless and easy to use. The buttons have a nice light touch to them, and there's a real feeling of quality here. Despite the lightness, there is just a nice feeling of that a lot of engineering and effort has gone into making this like a long, reliable, lasting vehicle. Something that's going to hold up to the test of time, I think. No major rattles or squeaks. All feels very well buttoned together. It's a stiff chassis too. So a lot of engineering has gone into the Telluride, and I'm pretty impressed with how it's all come together and turned out as a full package. Even the turning radius is pretty good. Show you guys an example of that right here. Pretty good. So, really quite a lot to go over with this vehicle, but there's a lot of vehicle here to cover, and in these reviews it's kind of difficult to go over everything. There's a lot of other videos out there that go into details and buttons and everything and menus a little bit more in depth. But for the overall driving experience, I do like this car. I think, in the class, this is very competitive. From a price standpoint, you kind of can't go wrong with whatever Telluride you want, or even Hyundai Palisade you want. But in the end, it's a very, very nice driving and riding vehicle, and getting a little bit more well-known than I anticipated. I think with a lot of the advertising and marketing that Kia has been putting into these vehicles, they're getting some recognition, and I appreciate the effort that they've put forth in making this kind of a unique design in their lineup, and really putting some work into making it a nice cohesive package. So anyway, guys, that kind of sums up the Telluride for me. The jury's out right now on its off-road capabilities. You get about 8 inches of ground clearance. Haven't really had a chance to test this off-road, but I'm sure for most situations that most people are going to be seeing and encountering, it'll do a pretty good job. I think the idea is that the Telluride is the more rugged version of this platform, and the Palisade is supposed to be a little bit more luxurious, but ultimately in this spec, they're pretty darn close, pretty similar. It's down to looks, down to name, what you prefer. I definitely prefer the Palisade's transmission tuning, and there are just some refinements in there that make it a little bit of a nicer package, but I think overall I definitely like the Telluride's looks a little bit better. This is a great design. It's clean, it's simple, and it looks pretty good from every angle. So anyway, guys, that sums it up for me. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in another video later. Take it easy.